Hello everyone, Magnus here. Today's episode I wanted to talk about something pretty specific, and it has to do with the Canon 5D Mark IV, specifically firmware updates. A couple of months back, the 5D Mark IV was rumored to get a bunch of special updates that would severely improve the usability of the 4K files, as well as adding some minute but pretty good extra features, including Canon log. What we actually got was pretty much only Canon log and nothing else. We were looking for a reduced crop factor in the 4K. We were looking for a better codec, but we didn't get any of that. And now here we are months later. I installed the Canon log into my 5D Mark IV, but there's nothing else. There's been rumors or no word of any other firmware updates or anything that we've possibly gotten to install or will be able to install in the future for the 5D Mark IV, let alone for any of the Canon cameras that will make it exciting for filming video. This comes to my serious point of concern. Why so long for the updates? And why limit your firmware updates so severely when you actually do put them out? A while ago, before the Canon log update, there was an update to the 5D Mark IV that, fixed a couple of bugs that the camera had and specific features. For example, I've noticed that when I updated the 5D Mark IV, my SanDisk Extreme Pro SD card was able to record with no more drops in actually recording 4K footage, where I had a couple of buffer readout errors happen to me infrequently, but it at least happened to me. Ever since that update, it didn't happen at all, so I was pretty pleased about that. But as regards to anything exciting, we get nothing. This kind of rant is based on the fact that when NX1 was released a couple of years ago, I was still feeling out what it's like to own different camera bodies besides the Canon camera body. And I noticed that at the time, Samsung had pretty much updated their firmware fairly quickly. There were like 2 or 3 updates within a few months. And I remember seeing videos and stuff saying that, oh, this isn't the norm. This is something special, that they're able to update firmware so quickly. So I wondered, why not do it with other camera bodies? You could not only extend the life of your cameras, but also make them feel fresh, make them feel new, make me want to buy them with a feature that it didn't have before and you can have now. The Magic Lantern software enabled the 6D to have features that the camera body could obviously handle, but that Canon didn't want to throw in there. And I haven't had an error happen with this camera with any of the Magic Lantern features added to it, such as focus peaking, such as raw video recording, though on the 6D it's pretty limited thanks to the SD card slot. But all these other features that the camera can obviously have, but from what you hear is that they want to limit those features specifically for their cinema line, so that you're not buying DSLR, that you can just go for their cinema line. Well, I don't buy that. I don't believe that, and it's a bit frustrating that, fine, if you want to leave out specific features such as a better codec for the 4K, understood, but simple, regular updates to improve the usability of the camera should be kind of a no-brainer. There's features, enhanced camera features that you can add to the 5D Mark IV. You can add better resolution in the 4K files when you sample for images. Why not increase the size of the sensor that's used just by a bit? Why not give more flexible frame rates? If you can't do beyond 60p for 1080 films, why not make those frames variable? Have the user to be able to choose what type of frame rate that you want to choose, 60 or below, and vice versa. I specifically don't understand that. I don't understand why you can't update your firmwares. It's frustrating that you have to wait so long, and quite honestly, a firmware update can seriously refresh the interest in the 5D Mark IV or any of the Canon lines. I mean, you just released the Canon 6D Mark II. There's rumors of the 7D Mark III. What comes after the 80D? I mean, all these cameras, you want to refresh all these cameras, but yet you're not making people excited for it. For example, when you released the 6D Mark II and you severely limited the video features, and quite honestly, it was just a full frame 80D, there was not much excitement. Don't you want that excitement in your brand? Don't you want the excitement that, hey, this camera does all this, let me get some? Sure, a flip out screen was more than welcome in the 6D Mark II, but that doesn't exactly help with the overall excitement of that camera when you've got cameras of the same price, such as the GH5, that give you a ton of enhanced features besides that for the photographer and the videographer that make it a lot easier to use. Final thoughts is, there's nothing wrong with giving your customers what they want. You've got photography customers and you've got video production customers. Photography customers are not getting all they want either. Don't think that this is just a video rant, because in photography, you've got incredible dynamic range that you can get off the Nikon cameras that you will not see in many of the Canon cameras. You've got the 6D Mark II suffering from a reduced dynamic range when compared to, for example, the 80D, unless you push the ISO levels higher. When you put the ISO levels higher, the dynamic range makes up for it. But why are you putting flaws in these cameras and then don't address them? Firmware updates, easy way to keep your customers happy, easy way to give them what they want. And sure, you're concerned with reliability, but by the time, honestly, by the time that you come out with a feature, it's already 2 years old compared to the competition. Yeah, Sony has its overheating issues, but Sony's leading the pack for full frame, low light capabilities, as well as 4K recording. GH5, they're leading when it comes to video production in a small body when compared to anyone else. I choose Canon, and I like Canon because of the colors, but I will say that the GH5 comes very close to Canon colors. But I also choose the Canon bodies because of the dual pixel autofocus. Now imagine getting all the features that you want in the 5D Mark IV, or the next Canon full frame body that just has the 4K, has the better codec, has the features like focus peaking, has dual pixel autofocus, has sensor in body stabilization and digital image stabilization, all in one camera. I just listed the perfect Canon camera. 120 frames per second 1080p, 60p 4K, in body stabilization, dual pixel autofocus, and an improved codec. You get a Canon camera like that and the competition will have to walk away. Don't forget C-Log. C-Log is also important. Mix that all in together with incredible dynamic range and you've got a Canon camera that not only myself but the competition would come running right back to Canon for. Those are my thoughts. That's my rant. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Thank you for watching, and please, as always, Twitter's @Magnus547, and you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. And if you did enjoy, hit that like button. Always appreciate it. See you guys later.